Hey, welcome back to the Magic Hours. I am Zoe Flowers, your favorite bruja's bruja. And so we're going to just go ahead and get started with this VR. I was literally watching it all night and I could not wait to go to sleep so I could wake up and do this video because I am that kind of nerd. And it's the 7 Deadly Sins video, and it's a VR till Sylvain's Deadly Sin. So we are going to start with my favorite sin, and that would be envy. And so it's supposed to be, pick a deck that you got because you saw everybody else with it. All envy, all day long, because so many of my favorite readers had this deck, and I was like, okay, I have to have it. And that is the Deviant Moon, obviously. So I got it, and at first I was, I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it because it is kind of weird. It's definitely not like my aesthetic at all, but it reads really well, and I really like this deck. I mean, it's very, very much on point. And I've even gone on to, visit Patrick Valenza's website and to see what other works he has. I don't think I'll get any other things that he has, but yeah, this was a very good purchase. So yeah, envy is good. So this one was name a deck that you get as a flex or that you have a lot of pride. Yeah, I indulge in this too. I do, yeah. I like my decks to flex. So this deck is a flex to me. I saw this deck, I saw Sparkle Divine Tarot do an unboxing with this deck, and I was like, oh my God, it's beautiful. I must have it. And let's just be honest, most of my decks, not all, most of my decks are the result of envy. Because I have like some, there are some people that I really like to watch, and I love their decks. They're absolutely beautiful, and I want them for my own. And so here we go. Here we are. It reads again really well. It pairs with decks that I already have really beautifully. This deck is a flex. The colors are stunning. Obviously, I have a lot of, people of color that are clients of mine, and they love this deck. Like, come on. I mean, and it feels really good. Like the card stock is really amazing. I feel like the backing isn't that much of a flex. I would have liked a different backing. I mean, I understand it's tribal, but I feel like it's so dark, and then this is so different. So I probably would have liked a different backing, but what do I know? I'm not a designer. I am just a greedy, prideful, envious tarot reader. Okay, now to Avarice. And so Avarice was what deck do you only want for yourself and you don't share with anybody else? So that would be the Dust to Onyx deck. Now, this was a gift actually from one of my long-time students. I mean, I guess I meant to say client. I've been doing readings for him and Reiki for him for many years, and he gifted this deck to me, and I did one reading for another person, and then I was like, oh, this deck just has to be for me because it's so complex. you know, it comes with this little teeny tiny guidebook, but, and this is, I mean, but the real guidebook that you get online is like 200 something pages. So I downloaded that and put it in a binder. That's how extensive it is. And once I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't use this deck on other people because it's just too complex. It's a mixture of, you know, African American. Let me see if I can find one. For people who don't know, I mean, this deck, this is probably my favorite card of all times, honestly. I think I'm gonna leave this out because it is absolutely beautiful. We have to find another word for stunning. But yeah, so, you know, the court cards and the other face cards are an amalgamation, a collage of Black people, celebrities, political people, etc. And so it's just a lot. It's just a lot. And so this is not a deck that I can use with everybody. And as a matter of fact, I used it with one of my clients who is also a longtime student. And, you know, she's very much into readings and, you know, just all the things like me. And even she was like, this deck is kind of heavy. And it is. It's a heavy deck. And so I just have to use it on myself. And I don't even use it that much, really. It sits on my altar. But I don't really use it that much. Like, I haven't used it in a long time. Our next deadly sin is another favorite. I mean, let's be honest. I am a fan of all the deadly sins. Like, listen, it is what it is. All right. So my other favorite is gluttony. And gluttony was, what deck did you buy that you didn't need? And you know what? I definitely got paid back for my gluttony. Because I was at Barnes & Noble. I was just supposed to be buying magazines for a vision boarding gathering that we did in January. God, I cannot believe it's March already. Oh, happy Women's History Month, by the way. And I saw this deck and another deck. Now, the other deck I got was amazing. I got this deck, and I did a video on this a couple of weeks ago because I just picked it up because it had witch in it, like literally. And I should have known by this. I'm like, fam, why you crying? Like, the flip flop, like, I should have known. But nope, I bought it anyway because I was like, it got witch in it, so I'm gonna buy it. And
it's not even giving what y'all said it was supposed to give. No, I wasted my money.
I had brought her out for Pisces season, and do y'all know I put her back? Another fave sin for me, and that would be lust. I should have did that one first. I should have did luck first, because yeah, lust and envy are neck and neck. Lust, baby. This girl right here. I don't know why my mother's not answering the phone, and I'm not stopping my video because the phone is ringing. Now, this, just like the title says, this deck is formulated after traditional tattoos, and I love tattoos as well. I mean, Lord, no, when Miami Ink, not Miami Ink, that's, no. Yeah, Miami Ink with Kat Von D and all those guys. Oh my God, I loved it so much. I loved that show. I loved when Kat got her own show. I love tattoos. I love the brilliant colors. I freaking love this deck. The reds, the blues. This reminds me of, you know, that movie with the lady? Actually, my grandparents had those scary kids on their wall in the dining room, and when they passed away, child, let me tell you something. I took those things off the wall, and I took them off the wall like Michael Jackson, and I put them in the basement. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Them scary kids, that brother and that sister that look sad. My grandparents had those pictures in the dining room, and I was like, I'd be at, you know, when we would have holidays and stuff, and we'd be eating in a dining room, and I was a kid, you know, but I always was mouthy, just like now. And I was like, why do you have those scary children in the dining room where we are eating? And my mother, just like she does now, would be like, girl, shut up. But that's what that picture looked like, them scary kids. And y'all know the story of that, right? That lady who was painting those. She was like a phenomenal artist, although I don't know why she decided to paint those sad children, maybe because her husband locked her in the attic. But her husband had these great artistic aspirations, and she painted them, and he literally locked her in the attic, like Flowers in the Attic style, like V.C. Andrews Stand Up, and just made her paint and paint and paint and paint and paint, and took all the credit for literally decades, and then started mass marketing those photos. It's a great movie by this actress that I really like, but I can't think of her name. She looks like another actress. It's the actress who was in Juno, the one who's like, you were not. I can't think of that child's name. Is it Amy Adams? I don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling. Bye bye, baby.
Remember, you're my baby.
Shout out to Marilyn Monroe and Jane Russell in Gentlemen Prefer Blonde. So this is not actually one of my favorites at all. This is not one of my favorite sins. That would be Wrath. And so this is a deck that gets on your nerves, that you really don't like. And so this actually, it was a toss-up between this one and actually that witch one, but I didn't choose that witch one just because I haven't had enough time to spend with it. So the other two that didn't make the cut is because I just hadn't had enough time to work with them, and I wanted to be fair about that. So, but this one, baby, I've had this deck now for like 3 years. And you know what? I think this was another Barnes & Noble purchase. First of all, I'm not a fan. I just have to say, I'm not a fan. Although the first deck that I really taught myself to read tarot on was one of their decks. It was the Afro-Brazilian deck. And so I will always have a special place in my heart for that particular deck, but I just don't really like, I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. So anyway, I thought, okay, again, I think I was at Barnes & Noble, and I was like, oh, Lenormand, what is that? Oh, it's the ancient tarot, like the original? I'll try it. I just couldn't. And one of my favorite readers, Becca, she reads with Johnny and, gosh, I can't think of the other woman. I really like her too. She always has a Christmas tree up in her house year round. They read together on Sunday nights, but I can't think of her name. But Becca reads Lenormand, and Becca be reading the cards down. But I don't know, it just doesn't give me enough. I don't know, I'm not connected to it. Maybe one day when I grow up. I will. Part of the problem is when you get so many decks, after a certain point, it's like hard to connect to one. So you have so many. So that's why I keep telling myself I'm going to relax on buying decks, but then I never relax. I just keep going. So then you end up with like these that you don't really understand, and then you wind up having wrath for them. And I don't hate the deck at all. I don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. I just don't understand. I don't understand. Okay. So, my final sin is another deck that is absolutely not one of my favorites, and that would be Sloth. So Sloth is a deck that you just pick up, you can use, you know, she gives what she's supposed to have gave every single time. I'm sorry. She's simple and complex at the same time. She's beautiful. She makes sense. Like, oh, I love her. I love her. I mean, look at how easy this is. It's like, oh, this is about nostalgia. Oh my God. That's my chick. So that's what we got. That's what we got. And yeah, those are my 7 deadly sins. Thank you all. Now, let's get into these heavenly virtues. Bye.